Hey guys, and welcome to Dan and Bryn Start a Gym. This is Mari. She's super camera shy. I don't know if you can tell that or not, but she's freaking out a little bit, but that's okay. It is Workout Wednesday, and today we are going to go over what we're going to be doing in the metabolic workouts for today. We'll hopefully be going over what we do on the metabolic workouts every Wednesday, or at least give a metabolic routine or workout that you can do each week. Hopefully after a month you'll have 4 or 5 of them together, so you can change your workouts up day to day. Each of the metabolic routines has a push, pull, bend at the hip, bend at the knee, twist and anti-twist, something for your core, and should get your heart rate elevated. The intensity that you choose is up to you. Please be safe and please be careful when you do your workout. So let's begin, shall we? Our first workout today, or our first metabolic circuit, should take about half an hour if you can get through it 3 to 4 times. Sets and reps are always up to you. But the first thing Mari's going to do is she's going to go find a pair of dumbbells. Let's watch her find those dumbbells as I explain the workouts in better and greater detail. All right. So the first exercise she's going to do is a squat and press. She's going to bring those dumbbells up to her shoulders. She's going to squat down just like so and stand and press to the ceiling just like that. She'll do anywhere between 16 and 25 reps depending on her exercise intensity and what she's going for. We're not trying to go super heavy on our metabolic work. We're just trying to get our heart rate up and make the movement happen. Now that constitutes 3 of our 5 human movements: our bend at the hip, bend at the knee, and a pushing exercise. After that, she is going to find a resistance band and she's going to do a Palloff press. Now we usually use the easiest ones we can until we can max them out. She's going to do it in a cumulative 30 seconds, but she's only going to hold it in 5-second increments. If she can hold it for longer than 5 seconds, she's probably going to need to make it harder, just like so, by stepping out. You'll notice that her feet are parallel, pointing together. If she wanted to make it harder and she only had the one band, she could bring her feet closer together. Decreasing her base of support makes it harder on her core. Now you're going to want to flex the core before you extend the arms, but you'll figure that out as you get better at it. After that, she's going to find a TRX band and she's going to do TRX rows. Not the chin-ups, but the rows. From here, she's going to lean back just like so. She's going to either keep her legs at 90 degrees or she's going to have her legs straight. It's up to her. Remember, straighter legs are harder. Now, if this was too hard, she would simply back up farther. You can use any suspension trainer, really. You could use rings, you could use door anchors. It's up to you. There's a lot of ways to modify this. Okay, and we go through the progressions and regressions on a later date on all these exercises. After that, she'll do the other side of her Palloff press. Again, making sure that she gets both sides and tries to find the same level of intensity when she does both sides, just like that. Now, believe it or not, while this exercise is an isometric exercise, it does take a lot of her cardiovascular system to hold her torso straight like that, and we find that it makes people quite out of breath. After that, she's going to do reverse lunges. Now, when we do our reverse lunges today, she's going to go through a few progressions and regressions of them. Our standard reverse lunge would be where she'd put her hands behind her head or on her hips, either one, and she would just step back and then come back up just like so, alternating legs. Now, when she does that reverse lunge, she's going to make sure that her heel stays down on the ground each time on that front foot. You'll notice the back foot heel comes up, but her front foot heel stays firmly planted in the ground. Most of her weight should be on that. If you need to, you can raise your toenails in order to make that happen. If she needed to make it easier, she could easily hold on to the ballet bar over here. By holding onto the ballet bar, it gives her some ability to support her load. A lot of people tend to either not get enough range of motion on their front leg and they don't get down to that 90 degrees, or they lean too far forward over the knee because of lack of glute development. They're trying to cheat somewhat. Now in today's workout, we're going to make it a faster pace, more of a jump lunge as we would call it. Now that won't be for everybody. The basics is the most important. Go ahead, Mari. She's gonna alternate legs each time. She's gonna switch fast. There we go. Just like so. Perfect. That would be our first circuit, where you would go through that anywhere between 3 and 5 times, and we'd want to stop at about the half an hour mark where we'd grab water. On our second exercise circuit, we're going to start off with ring push-ups. So she's going to find the rings over here and she's going to go into her push-ups. Now when she does her push-ups, we usually want to start at the lowest point, making sure that we get full range of motion, making sure that our shoulders come past our hands, just like so. A lot of people cheat on their depth when they do their push-ups. If this was too hard, she would simply walk farther forward, just like so. it would be too difficult to make these too easy. If you make them too easy and just work on it as a stretch, so let's say you have a shoulder issue, you can just step in and out and really stretch the shoulders, where you put one foot in front, stagger stance, get those hands down, and then she can just lean into it, stretch the pecs, and stretch the shoulders. This is a great shoulder mobility exercise, and there's some other ones we'll end up going through on that. After she does that, she's gonna find one of these higher TRX bands, and she's gonna work on TRX band chin-ups. Now, she's gonna hang directly underneath it. She's gonna do her best to pull herself up vertically, keeping her feet on the floor. She can use some of her legs in order to help support her load. She can also pick one leg up, making it slightly harder and using as little leg as possible and alternating at the top. That little bit of a hold at the top is really important. She can bring both legs up, lower herself down nice and slow. Ready, Rico? Come on, girl. She can bring herself up, hold, and then lower herself down slow all the way, doing that eccentric load. Perfect, Rico. After that, she's going to come over and she's gonna find either a pair of dumbbells, a pair of kettlebells, or no weight whatsoever, and she's going to work on her single leg deadlift. She's choosing the pink kettlebells because, well, yeah, you wish. So from here, she's going to make sure that she keeps her scapulas contracted, pulling her chest out, making sure her shoulders stay packed. If she walks over here a little bit, we can get more of a profile shot, which would be better because I don't need the head on. There we go. Now, a lot of people end up trying to go too deep on their single leg deadlift. This is about extending the back leg, keeping that leg that's on the ground slightly bent, and trying to keep our hips parallel. Don't go too far over. A lot of people reach for the floor and round their back just like that, and we don't need to do that. If you can keep a flat back and still touch the floor and get that range of motion with your hamstring, great. But unless you can't, if you can't keep that back flat, then it's not worth it. Just work on getting that range of motion and finding that pause. We'd end up doing anywhere between 8 to 12 on each leg. After that, she's gonna find a ski machine, and she's going to do a 1-minute sprint on the ski machine. Reaching up with her hands, and she's gonna use her hips and her core to really drive down on that ski machine. Now, if you don't have one of these at home, burpees work great in this sort of situation. Remember, when in doubt, burpees count pretty much for everything. After that, she's going to stop right here, and she's going to inchworm all the way back to the beginning, where she would start her push-ups yet again. Hands on the ground, she would walk out just like so, taking her tippy toes, tip, 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 tip toe all the way up, and then walking out with her hands yet again. You don't need to stand up in between each and every one, but it definitely doesn't hurt. This would be our metabolic circuit for the day. If you go through both of those circuits, the first one and the second one, it should take you roughly an hour to get through both of them, at least 3 times, if not 4 times each. So thanks again for watching. This is Dan and Bryn Start a Gym. Today we have our special guest Rico and her lovely smile. Say goodbye, Rico.
Goodbye.
Have a nice day.